All right. Okay. This is another video. Um, I just realized that I'm able to put things in perspective. Because of this, just knowing who I am and making these videos. As I'm saying that, give me a second. Yep. Um, this obviously purple when I make videos, and I'm out by the door on purpose because I want them to hear me clearly, right? So understand that I'm not subscribing, and I'll never let them live their fantasy. 2 seconds ago now, I'll make a video about. I went downstairs and seeing people, and it's like, wow, all of these people want me. All these people, I feel like I'm like. You have this feeling of dignity when you're around people who all sold the soul and have to dumb themselves down. They're all like, "Oh, you're gonna get raped." You're gonna do like this, and I'd rather get raped than do what you do. I truly meant it too. I truly meant it, and I hear these people is like, "Oh, we sold because they sold something." Like I'm like, I've seen some of the people involved in this. It's pathetic. It's not, they like to say, "Oh, we're sad." No, you're not sad. You're pathetic. Your life is pathetic. Look at that. This is your life, and they try to make me like dehumanize me. It's like, so what are you? What is this? You know, these cowards who love to claim that they're there are just as bottom feeders. But I can't even hate them. They do these things right, and they want me to be nervous about it. And it's just this. It's frustrating, but thankfully at this point it's not as bad. But because it's not the stimulations, at least at the time. So what happened is, it takes me a second to process what I'm seeing, and what I'm seeing can be processed differently. They manipulate the perceptions and the way you process things. I've shown you before how it happens. Like you look, it takes a while, and just like you have to like really just take your time. And there was these things about this, which I would love to watch it, but unfortunately, because of the peripheral shit they do, peripheral things they do to me. Excuse my language. Peripheral things they do to me. I feel uncomfortable watching it because they're gonna make me feel uncomfortable. They're gonna stimulate me. They're gonna do these nasty things. But this video, and you see these kids, right? Initially, I'm like, this one here, it took me a while to see her as the kid that she is. So you hear the noise campaign, they're supposed to make me scared and nervous because I'm not subscribing to that. So this initial, it took me a while, right? I hope you can see. So you see the one in yellow? I hope you can also hear the noise campaign. They're supposed to make me subscribe. They throw trash, being the trash that they are, to try to make me subscribe to that. They're so bottom feeders, and it's pure trash, actually. So you see this, right? It took me a second to process this as a child. I looked at it now. I can clearly see it's a child, but it took me a second. The others I could see immediately they're babies. It's like, no, if they're all kids, then she must be a kid too. But it takes me a while to kind of process. It's like I almost see her as an adult for a second, and then I'm like, okay, I see now. It's a child. It's obvious child too. But they have the ability to process create this perception in your mind. Well, it takes you a while. The stimulation, all that weren't there, but it took me a while to see what I was seeing for what it was. That's your brain can be played with in this way. That's why you hear these people making those noise campaign. They want to identify you. They want you to identify with this manipulation. Obviously, I know it's stupidity, you know. Um, and they really want you to be like, oh, and we're gonna, it's our trial. It's like, because they're gonna frame it. You understand? These are the same people who want you to subscribe to these manipulations. I went downstairs, and honestly, I never felt no more righteous in my life. They all wanted to be these fierce people. I was like, no, you're just trash. You can. I know this technology has the ability to play with your brain in these ways, right? You cannot tell me who I am. Look at you. Listen to you. Trash. It's okay. You sold your soul to pedophiles. You had that choice. You made that choice. It's good for you. If it wasn't you, somebody else was going to do. But to think that I'm going to let you live your fantasy? No. You hear this person throw something in the trash and say, that's our trash. It's like, you are the trash, buddy. Look at you. I'm just the reason why you're going to see yourself for what you are now. Trash. Can you imagine the dignity I get from seeing people who are willing to dumb themselves to this level? It feels like it doesn't feel, but it feels honorable and dignified. I know I'm gonna be in screaming pain because I'll keep bringing this up, but I'll never subscribe to it. They manipulate how you process and see things. It really takes a minute for you to really see what things for what they are. I think I have a picture of that. It takes me a while, and then when I saw kids, okay, that's a kid too for sure. It took me a second. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, now I see. Before I was like, oh, she like I can't really tell exactly what I'm seeing in regard of if she's a kid or not. Then I see the everything in my brain just went normal. Like I was able to perceive her properly. This is the ability of them manipulating your perceptions in these weird ways, making you see things in different fashions or process them in different fashion is crazy. But that's what they're capable of doing. And so I know myself, of course, in a good, at least the best, the okay thing is like they weren't giving me stimulations, thankfully, but they would just try to make me feel, "Ah, why didn't you see that this kid immediately? What did you have to see the title and then realize, oh, okay, now I see it." They try to bring something else. But this is just the things to do. They can play with your perceptions and make you see things in different fashion. This is what was an extreme because she's a really young kid too. If the more I look at it, it's like, "Ew, that's like a 10, 11 years old kid." Seeing her now. Initially, I was like, yeah, is it like one of those Asians that kind of look like, it took me a second. Then I was like, okay, now I can see properly. They play these things in my brain, and they want me to subscribe to it. And they don't want to be seen because when they're like, oh, they are, and I see them like, oh phew, gosh, you look so full of s. It's like you're gonna be castrated. Okay, I already get castrated, but you're still full of shit. Look at you, you're pure trash. I already get castrated. I already die. I mean, pure trash. They try to make themselves sound, you will do it, and you see, and I caught one of this just chubby fucking sorry little kid looking awkward. We're walking. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is the people talking to me. They are. She can be castrated. I was like, oh my gosh. They sell the kids to these pedophiles. Now this is what they're doing. Talk about being castrated. I already gave castrated. Look at you, sad life. This kid is already doomed. For real. What do you think he's gonna grow up to be? Trash. They have no shame. And they want you to subscribe to it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have this picture as the thumbnail. They're trash.